Marriage, I once thought, was built to withstand storms. My wife, Laura, and I had been together for nearly 10 years. We had shared dreams, late-night talks, and the kind of laughter that made people say we were perfect together. But perfect is a dangerous word. Behind closed doors, things weren't as flawless as they seemed. It started slowly. Her tone changed. The warmth in her eyes dimmed. Conversations became arguments, and arguments became silence. Still, I thought it was just a rough patch, something every couple goes through. I held on to that belief like a lifeline. Then one evening, she came home with a suitcase already packed. I was sitting on the couch, scrolling aimlessly on my phone, waiting to ask if she wanted takeout for dinner. But when I looked up, there she was, standing in the doorway, her face set, her knuckles white around the handle of the suitcase. "I'm leaving," she said flatly. "For good this time." I blinked, trying to process the words. For good. She'd threatened it before during fights, but this time there was no shouting, no tears. Just finality. I expected myself to panic, to beg, to plead with her to stay. But what surprised me most was the strange calm that washed over me. It was like every sleepless night, every unanswered question, every moment of feeling like I was the only one still fighting for us had led to this quiet breaking point. So I looked at her and simply replied, "Okay." Her eyes widened, as if she hadn't expected that. Maybe she wanted a scene, for me to fall apart, to make her feel wanted, to prove she still had power over me. Instead, she looked unsettled. "That's it. Just okay," she snapped, her voice rising. I shrugged. "You made your decision. What else is there to say?" She stood frozen for a moment, waiting for me to chase her. When I didn't, she stormed out, slamming the door behind her. I sat there, the silence ringing in my ears, and something inside me shifted. I realized I had been carrying a dead marriage on my back for years, convincing myself that if I just held on tighter, it would come back to life. But when she walked out, I felt lighter, not heavier. The next morning, I didn't drown myself in sorrow. I didn't call her or her friends or her family. Instead, I called a locksmith. Changed the locks. Gathered her remaining things into boxes. When she texted 2 days later, demanding to talk, I didn't reply. When she showed up, the locks stopped her at the door. That was my ending. Not a grand explosion, not a battle, just a quiet full stop. Okay. Word got around fast. Friends called, shocked. Her sister reached out, saying Laura was furious, that she hadn't really expected me to let her go so easily. "She thought you'd fight for her," her sister admitted. But here's the truth. Love isn't proven by begging someone to stay when they've already chosen to leave. Sometimes the strongest thing you can say is nothing more than okay. In the weeks that followed, I focused on myself. I went back to the gym, picked up hobbies I had abandoned, reconnected with friends I had ignored while pouring energy into saving a marriage Laura had already abandoned. Laura. She tried circling back. Calls, texts, even showing up once, insisting she had made a mistake. But by then, I was past the point of return. I had discovered peace, something I hadn't felt in years. And so I ended it all with that one word. Not my life, not my future, but the weight of a marriage that had already been over long before she packed that suitcase. Because sometimes, the most powerful closure doesn't come from long conversations or dramatic gestures. Sometimes, it's just the strength to say okay. And mean it.